Hi, my name is Jeff Emerson. I'm the director at True Freedom Recovery Yoga, and we're going to do some different um, podcast. I don't know, YouTube things, maybe things on our website, different classes, and little small uh, interviews with people about yoga and recovery and all those kind of things. But first, I thought we'd start off by letting you know why we're here and how we got here and all things about True Freedom Recovery Yoga, what makes it a special place. We've been around in the Cincinnati area for about 10 about 12, 12 or 13 years. I started at Cincinnati Yoga School, where I took my yoga training. And while I was taking the yoga training, every time we would talk or get together in satsang or meeting portion, I would, everything that my teacher was telling me, I kept thinking, well, that sounds like recovery, or this would be helpful in recovery and things like that. And there was a couple other people who were kind of doing some things with recovery and yoga and things like that. Lady in Indiana and Tommy Rosen was starting off and things like that. So it wasn't like I came up with the idea totally by myself, but I they weren't offering trainings uh, like 200-hour trainings, so recovery people can become yoga teachers, and that's what we do at True Freedom. And that way, we give people an opportunity to learn a new thing and go in deeper. Or if you just want to come and just do some classes and things like that, we also have that available too. We're the only yoga studio that is dedicated to recovery yoga, and that's all we do. We don't do anything else. We're not like a supplement of other yoga classes. Where I started at Cincinnati Yoga School, I became a partner with Will over there. I have great respect for him, and he kind of helped me establish the training. That was part of my 300-hour training with him. Was that I was to start a training of my own, and so I started it over there, and we were doing it there. Uh, when got my certification, I started a yoga class at Cincinnati Yoga School, and it was like the only one in the city. And so every week there was 20, 30 people would come to the class, and it was only offered one night a week. And so it was a really special thing, and I could see the benefits there. And I talked to a couple of my friends to take the course with Will, and I saw the dramatic effects, especially with one of them that I knew there was something special about what we were doing. So I started that training and started doing the training at Cincinnati Yoga School. However, we what happened was Will was doing a training as well, and our trainings were bumping into each other. I would set up a weekend and he would, be gone for a little bit, gone to India, and then he'd come back and we would get bumped, and then we'd have to change a different weekend. So I didn't think that was going to be helpful, especially for, addictive type of people who, with expectations and everything. And so moved, we got a studio, or I got a studio downtown. A friend of mine was renting to us, and it was a beautiful space, just one of the real beautiful hardwood floors and the whole wall of windows. And it was downtown in a good area where people can, find us. It was kind of hard to find, actually. It was in like this alley. And the other issue was that the heating system would either be really, really hot. It was one of those industrial heaters. It would just blow on you. It'd be really hot, and then it'd kick off and then get really cold because there was no insulation or anything. And there was no cooling either. So, it was hot yoga every day. So we kind of moved from there. I was offering um, classes 3 times a week, and then I had a training going on, and then some of the teachers who were in the training became teachers, and then we were up to 5 days a week and Saturdays, so 6 days a week. So it was starting to take off, and still a lot of people were coming. So we moved up to Norwood area, where was able to find a deal on a yoga studio that was originally for the Cincinnati Boys Choir. And so we moved in here, and we've been here ever since. So, why yoga? Why recovery? We're not a replacement for recovery. We're a supplement to our recovery process. I have been clean 30 years or over 30 years now. And, you know, going to meetings is uh, essential, and getting involved in your recovery process is essential. Finding a home group, finding friends, and doing things outside the meeting is also essential because, if you don't, meet new people, then you're sticking around with the old people, and then, there's problems there. But getting involved with service has always been a big part of my recovery. And before I started a studio, I used to teach meditation at prisons and halfway houses and things like that. But at that, when I was doing that, I was only teaching to 6 or 7 people, maybe 10. And, I thought with the studio, we would have a lot more opportunities for a lot more people to be benefited from yoga and meditation and those kind of things. And so we started a studio, and people have been coming off and on. But now we have yoga every day and a lot of different teachers. And so the classes aren't as huge now, except for, some nights they can get up to 25, 30 people again. But most nights are more like 6, 10, 15 people. And so the classes are smaller and more intimate. And when I thought it was really going in the right direction was I had some new people in recovery come up to me and say, like, this is the only time of the week that I feel a sense of peace during shavasana, the nap time after the class. And so, I think it's a great service in that way, just to, because when we're using it or early in recovery, our central nervous system is all jacked up. And, we have a lot of anxiety and a lot of depression and a lot of different emotions we don't know what to do with. And yoga is a way of working some of that out. And then at the end, just sitting in stillness and just letting it all absorb and not have to think about anything. So that is one of the ways that yoga is good for recovery. Of course, any activities is good. Some people do weightlifting, some people do swimming or long distance running, marathon running, and those kind of things. And all those things are good. Golfing, all really helpful because we want to work with our mind and our body and our spirit. Where like weightlifting and things like that is good for your body, and maybe you get your spirit taken care of in the rooms. But having doing yoga is a philosophy. It's not a religion. So there's no worry there. But it is a philosophy of the spirit, is purifying our body so that spirit can flow through easier. And if your body is hurting in one form or another, it is hard to feel happy, joyous, and free. You can feel happy sometimes, you can feel free sometimes, but the joyous part, maybe your back's been aching forever. And, I've seen people who are not able to uh, bend down and tie their shoes, beginning of yoga, and then becoming yoga teachers. One of my students have opened up his own studio, and another, we've branched out a little bit. And so there's other places in the city now who are offering recovery yoga, but we were the first, and all most of the teachers have come through Cincinnati or True Freedom Recovery Yoga, one form or another. So yoga is good for our bodies, and in our spirit, there's a yoga philosophy in Yoga Sutras. They say that there's eight different limbs of yoga, with asana or what you would normally think of in a yoga class being just one of the limbs, and the other seven being more of the internal workings. And that is what when you're going into the deeper aspects of yoga. But you don't have to. You just come and get a little stretch on and feel good and meet other people who are also on the road, and we don't specify what kind of recovery you're in. Everybody's recovering from something. So you might meet somebody in a different fellowship and maybe you hear things, recovery said in a different way. We just say our name and say that we're in recovery, or you might not be in recovery at all. There's a lot of recovery curious people who come, and everybody has, when we go into the meeting part of our night is we talk about life stuff, we talk about our relationships with others, we talk about our work, we talk about what's going on in our life. We don't sit around and talk about drugs or alcohol or any other shopping or whatever form of addiction you're having. We talk about life stuff, so everybody can relate to that. And but you don't have to stay for the meeting part either. You can. A lot of people come just for the yoga part and leave. You might say, "Well, I don't really know anything about yoga. I'm not very flexible." The people who go to the gym to lift weights don't do it because they're strong. They go to the gym to get strong. So, you don't have to be flexible when you come to yoga. And our recovery yoga is so nice in that it's just a bunch of recovering people, and nobody really takes it too seriously. The culture at the studio is one of really relaxed state, and nobody, looks down on anybody, whether you can do certain postures or not, or, do them very well. Nobody cares and nobody watches, nobody, judges or anything like that. And then we get done at the end and, you can sit and watch and, laugh at everybody. We don't care. So, you can make the practice your own. In fact, we have a sign that says, listen to your body, not your ego, in that your body knows what it needs and your ego takes you places where you don't need to be. And so there's that aspect, but there is the camaraderie, and that's what in the yoga trainings we get. We have 9 months, 1 week in a month, and all the students get really close to each other, and we learn really deep yogic philosophies, and we talk about our deep feelings and into our lives and our recovery, and where we hope to go from the studio and things like that. So but then again, that's just another aspect. You don't have to take the training to do the yoga, but if you want to go deeper into it, there's that available. And we like to take people who are newer in recovery as well, because by going into the program, it gives you purpose. And, purpose is essential for recovery. We need to find a new path. And that's why, service work is so important in recovery. But, there's other ways, and there's other things to do in recovery than just the meetings. And, so that's an offering as well. And so that's a little bit of where we came from and where we're going. We don't, at one time, we thought we'd branch out to all these different cities and things like that. There was a lady in Dayton and Columbus, and, they were going to start studios. They were all going to be affiliated and things like that. And had a guy from Canada and somebody in Alaska even. They've taken the courses, and so we thought we were going to become this big thing, but we were kind of grandiose to begin with, and we've lowered our expectations. And so we're just a small yoga studio, and whoever comes is who's supposed to be here. And but we thought with the videos we can reach more people, and that's really what why we're headed in this direction. We're going to offer different interviews with different people on recovery topics or topics or meditation, Ayurveda. Ayurveda is a medicinal portion of yoga and a really important part for our mind and our body. And there we go into that. We'll go into that a little bit deeper, and maybe have some courses on that. How what to eat, and is your constitution, and what affects the way your perception of life is there in Ayurveda. How to work with your defects, and how to find stillness in your body. So, the deeper yogic meditations could then start working. So we'll have some in, talks on those kind of things, different parts of what the yamas and yamas are kind of like the principles of yoga, and also very helpful for our uh, our recovery process because it's all spiritual principles, and spiritual principles doesn't care what you call it. It's all working the same way. So we're hoping it'll be beneficial to others, or maybe would be is it like all service work? It'll be beneficial to me and those who participate, and then we hope that the our higher power can utilize um, the trainings for to help other people. So that's it for now. So stay tuned for more at True Freedom Recovery Yoga.